Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the 2019 F-250 Platinum. As always, we will do a quick walk around on the truck, go over the key features, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. And then this truck is being provided to us by Larry H. Miller Ford here in Draper. You can see they've got a ton of different vehicles to choose from, so if you're on the market for a new Ford, definitely check these guys out. But as always, if you are stopping for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. So under the hood here, we have a 6.7 liter V8 turbo diesel. And if you couldn't tell the displacement, they put it on the side of the truck for you. But in terms of power outputs, you're going to get 450 horsepower and 930 pound-feet of torque, and that all goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. This is actually one of my favorite angles on the Ford heavy duties, so I definitely like the lines that they have on the hoods and the black paint that this is finished in is actually really cool. But they do these really cool massive, like these are absolutely massive LED lights. They've got the LED reflector lights inside, and then you've got your fog lamps down below. You've got some tow hooks right there as well on the Super Duty, but it's just this massive imposing grille, and you can see the truck next to it. You can get it all blacked out if you want. So this truck in particular is pretty cool. So it has like black rims, black grille, and then it's all white too, so there's a nice contrast between it. Now around the side here on the Super Duty, we can see the 20-inch rims in the front and in the rear. Pretty standard for the segment on this type of truck, especially with the upgraded package. Other than that though, I don't have much else to say on it. And like I said before, they let you know exactly what it is. Platinum, F-250, Power Stroke, 6.7 liter. Keep it pretty simple. Now around back here, we've got the key fobs. So you've got your lock and unlock, and then you have your remote start function, tailgate release as well. So first we'll do the remote start. So we lock the truck, press that button twice. That'll start up that 6.7 liter. You see the taillights will illuminate, and then to turn it off, you just press that button again. And then do the tailgate release, just press this twice. That'll lower down the tailgate on the F-250. And then if we look here, this one already has the bed liner in it. It's got some LED bed lights back here as well, and then you can see the little cargo light with the rear sliding window. And in terms of the weight of the tailgate, it's actually pretty light. It's almost like they assist you up the initial part. The next part above that's a little bit heavier, but it's not bad by any means. And then finally finishing off the tailgate, we do have a little step that comes with all of the Fords. So you got this little platform you can step on, and then you do have this little bar that you can pull out and up, so it makes it easier to get in and out of the bed. Things up in the back, we can see it's got the Platinum logo on the back with Super Duty down below. We've got the little receiver hitch, we've got all the plugins right there, and then parking sensors for the rear of the truck. And then this one is an FX4 package, so it does say FX4 off-road on it, and that's why it's got a little bit more aggressive tires. Before we pop in the passenger compartment, we can see this is a little side tank. This is where you're going to fill up your diesel and then your DEF as well. But popping into the back right here, we can see the running boards pop up. It does have power running boards, but we can see it's got this nice leather trim up here. There's a little insert right there. Window controls are right in there, and then we can see the rear back here. So super spacious. There's a ton of legroom. Get some charging stations, heated seats for the rear. The seats do pull up, so you have extra storage space below them. I really like the feel and look of this leather. It's got some nice perforations in it, but it's definitely high quality leather that they put in the Platinum here. And then we do have a little pull out, and if you press this button, some cup holders will pop out. Now popping up front, we've got the keyless entry, so one touch to lock it, and then just put your hand on the back of the door handle to unlock it. But before we fully go inside, I want to mention the mirrors quickly. They do come with blind spot monitoring, but it is a split mirror for when you are towing, so you can see behind your trailer a lot easier. There's kind of like a convex mirror on the bottom part. But pulling over here, we can see the door panel for the front is basically the same as the door panel on the rear. More of that leather. And then we've got all of our controls for the front right up here. It does have power folding mirrors. All of your mirror controls are gonna be there. Memory seats are just down below with your lock and unlock, and then got your little speaker for the sound system. Coming over here, we can see the power adjustments for the front seat. And then you've got your pedal layout just down below with power adjustable pedals. That's for your tailgate release, automatic headlights. You got your brake release right there. And before we fully pop inside, here's the seats for the front. So they're finished in that nice same leather as the rear. They feel really comfortable. They got nice perforations. It says Platinum on top, but the seats definitely feel very, very nice. Now that we're inside, the Platinum step and height's actually really good with those side steps. Makes it easy to get in and out of the truck. But to start up, just push the push start button. It says built Ford tough, and then all the gauges will illuminate. First and foremost on the steering wheel here, we have all of our controls for the Bluetooth, volume controls for the radio. That's for your little center screen. We'll go over that momentarily, and then your controls for the adaptive cruise control. It does come with quite a bit of safety tech. You can see this Ford logo front and center, and the steering wheel is wrapped in leather. It's got some stitching on the center of it. Looking at the gauges here, we can see on the left-hand side, you've got the RPMs. On the right-hand side, you've got the speed. You've got a bunch of different gauges up top, for example, the fuel gauge and the temperature gauge, but we can scroll through this little menu here. You can see that this gives you a bunch of different information on the truck. I'll scroll through all of the menus so that you can see those different bits of info that you can go through on the truck, but it's super, super configurable on this side of things. Now up top, diesel exhaust brake stability control, that's your hill descent control. And then you've got your lane departure assistance, and then this is for the camera system. So we're actually gonna press that button, that'll illuminate the camera. And you can see here, you can go through a couple different sets of camera views on the truck. So you can basically see all around the truck. There is a cargo camera too, and then you can change that. There's a little center line that shows you. And then if you did put auxiliary cameras on the truck, which this one doesn't have any, then it would do that. And let's actually pop the truck into reverse, and it'll pop up with the backup camera right there. The reason it's beeping is because I still have the brake on, so let's pull that up so it stops beeping at me. But there is a little zoom function on the backup camera as well. Finishing things up on the infotainment, this is Ford's Sync 3 system, so super responsive. It's got all your controls here, so your phone controls, radio, navigation, everything you're going to do through this touchscreen. It's one of the more responsive and easy to use touchscreens in the car industry. I was going to mention the analog radio controls, but what I will mention is this water bottle. It comes completely free of charge with the truck. I didn't bring the water bottle, no extra charge for that. But all jokes aside, we have our analog controls for the radio right here. Just down below, we have our analog climate controls. This does have heated and ventilated seats, dual zone climate as well with the truck. And then over here, actually, we do get some controls here for the four-wheel drive system. There is like a little tow haul mode that you can do on here, and then you can manually shift the gears yourself with the gear selector if you would like. Looking at the center console here, we've got tons of storage cup holders. And then the full center console set up right here. Leather, really comfortable to put your arm on, but it's just massive. Has a ton of storage space in here, so you can put quite a bit of stuff under here. There are some cup holders on the back for the rear passengers. And speaking of storage, we do get a dual glove box set up here in the Super Duty, so more storage space right there, and it says Super Duty at the top. Now looking at the switches up here, we have a bunch of different auxiliary switches that you can basically use. So if you had like light bars, anything like that to the truck, you can hook them up to these switches. These are all of your controls for the lights, and then you have your controls for the sunroof right here. So it does have a full panoramic sunroof to let a bunch of extra light into the cabin for the Super Duty, and then there are universal garage door openers just up there as well. Finishing things up on the interior of the Super Duty, it's definitely a higher end interior. It feels really, really nice and high quality. That all being said though, let's take the 2019 F-250 with all 935 pound-feet of torque out to see how it drives. Now let's set off in the 2019 F-250, and this is definitely significantly bigger than what I usually drive vehicle-wise. You guys all know I have a 1500, and so it definitely takes a second to get used to. Initial impressions, it actually drives really, really well for the size of truck that it is. I'm not noticing that it's like super, super massive. It's actually pretty comfortable to drive. Turning radius on it's actually pretty good as well. Now while I sit here for probably about the next minute and a half to wait to make a left-hand turn, since this road is always super busy. Oh, well, that was quicker than I thought. But this truck, in terms of pricing, this one's stickers for about $78,000. I don't know if Ford's doing any discounts on these. I don't really look into that, but pretty expensive for a truck for sure. So turning there again, like I said, with the turning, it's super easy to use, pretty straightforward on that aspect. It's got a good turning radius, comfortable truck. But we're going to take it on the interstate now just to see how it handles on the interstate and all of that. Ooh, a bit of body roll, but that's expected of the truck. See what 935 pound-feet of torque feel like. Yeah, this truck's quick. 935 pound-feet of torque and 450 horsepower get this thing scooting. Being a heavy-duty ride quality interstate's actually pretty good. It's not smooth compared to most vehicles, but it's expected with a truck. In terms of other trucks, it's actually really, really smooth on the highway. And then road noise is actually really good. There's not a whole lot of road noise coming into the cabin. Visibility throughout the F-250 is actually really good. So these mirrors show you literally everything. Blind spot monitoring is going to help out on that side of things too. Visibility through the back's really good. You're up above everything, so you can pretty much see everything in this truck. This, on a visibility standpoint, even seeing over the hood just ends abruptly, so super easy vehicle to drive from a visibility standpoint. Now, to wrap things up on the F-250, if you are looking for a diesel truck, which less and less people are looking for nowadays, the half-ton market's kind of ramped up substantially. But if you are looking for a diesel truck, this is going to be one of the quicker offerings. These, turbo V8s with the extra horsepower that they have are definitely a lot quicker. And, the towing capacity with all the diesel trucks is pretty similar nowadays. And so it all comes down to, kind of style, basically. Which truck manufacturer do you like the most? They all have pretty similar technology, especially Ram and then Ford. They're pretty much identical tech-wise. And so if you are in the market for a heavy-duty truck, definitely check out one of these Fords. Drive them for sure, because you just got to feel what that V8 diesel motor feels like, because it is definitely a quick truck for a heavy-duty. And there we have it, everyone, the 2019 F-250 Platinum. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller, Ford, Lincoln here in Draper for providing us with the vehicle. If you're on the market for a new Ford, definitely check these guys out. But as always, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and I will see all of you in that next video.